David Wallechinsky is an American populist historian and television commentator, the president of the International Society of Olympic Historians and the founder and editor-in-chief of Olga.com. Early life. David Wallechinsky was born David Wallace in Los Angeles to a Jewish family, the son of writer Sylvia Khan and the author and screenwriter Irving Wallace. His younger sister was fellow author Amy Wallace, of Carlos Castaneda, who co-wrote many books with him, and the father and authored Sorcerer's Apprentice, My Life with Carlos Castaneda in 2003. One day after he got off an airplane in Britain, the customs officer looked at his passport and remarked, "Ah, Wallace, a good Scottish boy coming home." Disquieted. Back in the States, he discovered that the original family name was Wallechinsky and he adopted that moniker. He was educated at Palisades High School in Pacific Palisades, Los Angeles, California, graduating in 1965. One of his classmates was future film critic and talk radio host Michael Medved, and they later wrote What Really Happened to the Class of '65, a series of interviews with the former classmates. Alone, Wallechinsky went back to his school year and wrote a similar book, Midterm Report. The Class of '65 chronicles of an American generation about pupils from across America who left high school in that year. Career. In 1973, Wallechinsky became fed up with almanacs that regurgitated bare facts. He had the idea for a reference book to be read for pleasure, a book that would tell the often untold true tales of history. He worked alone for 12 months before being joined by his father for a further year of research. The People's Almanac was published by Doubleday in 1975 and became a bestseller. One of the most popular chapters was a selection of lists, and, joined by his father and sister, Wallechinsky wrote the Book of Lists, which became an international bestseller. Both books spawned not only follow-up editions but innumerable copy titles such as the Ethnic Almanac, the Jewish Almanac, the Book of TV Lists, the Book of Sex Lists, etc. Wallechinsky was taken to the Rome Olympic Games in 1960 by his father, and a seed was germinated that later resulted in the seminal The Complete Book of the Olympics, a reference work that contained full results and many anecdotes about the modern games. The book became unwieldy, so was later split into 2 volumes, The Complete Book of the Summer Olympics and The Complete Book of the Winter Olympics series. Wallechinsky now shares the editorial duties with his nephew Jamie Luckey. The books led to work for Wallechinsky as an Olympic commentator for NBC. In 1992, he was one of the founding members of the International Society of Olympic Historians. He served as treasurer of the ISOH from 1996 to 2004, vice president from 2004 to 2012, and is currently serving a 4-year term as the organization's president. Wallechinsky is the founder of Olga.com, which provides up-to-date news about more than 340 departments and agencies of the American government, most of which operate under the radar of the media even when they have annual budgets of billions of dollars. Olga tells you what each agency says it does, what it really does, and who is making a profit from the agency. It also gives a history of the agency, illuminates controversies relating to the agency, and shares critiques and suggested reforms from both the left and the right. He has compiled the list of the world's 10 worst dictators for Parade magazine for the last several years. In 2006, this subject became a book entitled Tyrants: The World's 20 Worst Living Dictators. These men are Omar al-Bashir, Kim Jong-il, Van Shui, Robert Mugabe, Islam Karimov, Hu Jintao, King Abdullah, Sapar Murat, Niyazov, Said Ali Khamenei, Teodoro Obiang Nguema, Muammar Gaddafi, King Swati III, Pervez Musharraf, Alexander Lukashenko, Fidel Castro, Isaias Afwerki, Bashar al-Assad, Meles Zenawi, Paul Biya and Chaumelia Sayasone. There is a 21st chapter on the special case of George W. Bush, which is not mentioned on the book's U.S. cover. Personal life. Wallechinsky is a vegetarian and is married to Flora Chavez. They have two sons, Elijah Chavez Wallechinsky and Aaron Chavez Wallechinsky. Both brothers are avid photographers and designers. Wallechinsky splits his time between Santa Monica, California and the south of France. Works Laughing Gas Nitrous Oxide with Michael Sheldon and Sawney Salio Ronan Publishing. Chico's Organic Gardening and Natural Living with Frank Chico Bucaro. The People's Almanac. What really happened to the class of '65? The Book of Lists. The People's Almanac No. 2. The Book of Lists No. 2. The Book of Predictions. The People's Almanac No. 3. The Intimate Sex Lives of Famous People. The Book of Lists No. 3. Significa. The Complete Book of the Olympics. Midterm Report. The Class of '65. Chronicles of an American Generation, later published as Class Reunion '65. Tales of an American Generation. The Book of Lists. The 90s edition. The People's Almanac presents the 20th century history with the boring parts left out. Tyrants, the world's 20 worst living dictators. The Complete Book of the Summer Olympics. The Complete Book of the Winter Olympics.